Something just happened in Italy that no one ever expected. The very people who bleed red for Ferrari, the Tifosi, are turning on their own team. These aren't casual fans. These are the most passionate, die-hard supporters in Formula One. And now they're not just upset, they're furious. The Italian media, usually protective of Ferrari at all costs, just crossed a line they've never crossed before. They're openly calling out the team's leadership, questioning decisions, and defending someone who, just a few months ago, was considered an outsider, Lewis Hamilton. But why? Why would Ferrari's most loyal supporters suddenly accuse their own team of sabotaging a 7-time world champion? What did they see that changed everything? What you're about to hear will flip the entire narrative around Hamilton's first season in red. Because this isn't just about a few bad races. This feels like betrayal. And if what the Tifosi are saying is true, then Ferrari may already be ruining the greatest comeback story in F1 history before it's even had the chance to begin. And here's where it all starts to make sense. What happened at Silverstone wasn't just a one-off disaster. Yes, Hamilton made mistakes. He went off track more than once, couldn't get past a slower car, and finished without a podium at a race he's dominated for years. But if you've been watching closely, you know this wasn't just a bad day. The cracks have been there for months. Ever since Hamilton joined Ferrari, something hasn't felt right. He's been giving the team clear feedback about the car, the handling, the strategy, but time and time again, they've either ignored it or done the exact opposite. And now, after Silverstone, the Italian media isn't staying silent anymore. They're echoing what fans have been whispering behind the scenes. Ferrari is sabotaging Hamilton. Maybe not on purpose, but through sheer incompetence and arrogance. And if it continues, it's not just his season that's in trouble, his entire legacy is on the line. That pattern became painfully clear at Silverstone. Hamilton was running in P4, right in the fight, until one pit stop changed everything. Ferrari brought him in, and when he came back out, he had dropped to P8. 4 positions gone. Just like that. It wasn't due to a crash or a mechanical issue. It was pure strategy failure. But was it really just a mistake, or is something deeper going on here? What made it worse was the radio silence. Once again, his race engineer Riccardo Adami had no real answers. No explanation, no plan, just flat responses that left Hamilton completely in the dark. It's the same kind of silence we saw back in Miami, when Hamilton, clearly frustrated, snapped and told Adami to have a tea break. That line didn't come from nowhere. It came from months of being let down. The scary part is this isn't new. It's not about one bad pit stop or a poor call in one race. It's a repeated pattern. Ferrari ignoring Hamilton's input, fumbling strategy, failing to communicate when it matters most. It looks less like bad luck now and more like a slow, grinding sabotage of a champion who deserves better. And now, the frustration has spilled beyond just fans and drivers. Even the Italian media, usually loyal to Ferrari no matter what, has started speaking out. One of the biggest sports outlets in the country, Gazzetta dello Sport, didn't hold back. They said it outright. You hired a champion. Maybe you should listen to him. That's not just criticism. That's a direct challenge to how Ferrari runs as a team. Because the truth is, Ferrari's system isn't built to welcome outside voices. It's built to protect its own tradition, even when that tradition is outdated, stubborn, and standing in the way of real progress. Hamilton didn't join Ferrari to be silenced. He came to bring experience, leadership, and winning instincts. But instead of embracing that, Ferrari has boxed him in, ignored his suggestions, kept him out of the loop, and forced him to adapt to a system that clearly isn't working. And now, the Tifosi see it too. These are fans who love Ferrari with their whole hearts. But what they're seeing is a 7-time world champion being isolated, unheard, and wasted. For them, this isn't just a team struggling. It's a team destroying itself from the inside, and they've finally had enough. The numbers don't lie, and they tell a brutal story that few people are talking about. Since 2008, Lewis Hamilton has won 62 races and secured 7 world championships. In that same time, Ferrari, as an entire team, has managed only 31 wins and 0 titles. Think about that. One man has doubled Ferrari's success all by himself. And yet, instead of leaning on that experience, instead of trusting the instincts of someone who clearly knows how to win, Ferrari continues to ignore him. It's as if they'd rather protect their outdated ways than listen to the one person who could actually bring them back to the top. That's the hard truth. Ferrari is stuck in the past. They're clinging to tradition while Hamilton is trying to move them into the future. But if they won't evolve with him, they're not just holding him back. They're wasting what could be their best shot at glory in decades. As if Hamilton's struggles weren't enough, Ferrari's internal chaos is getting harder to hide. While Lewis was battling strategy blunders, Charles Leclerc was having a complete meltdown on the radio. At Silverstone, he finished a shocking P14 and sounded totally lost, asking questions the team couldn't answer. This isn't just a one-off bad race, it's two top-tier drivers, both frustrated, both confused, both driving a car that clearly isn't working. And now the Tifosi are asking a question Ferrari never expected to hear. Are we backing the wrong driver? Because here's the thing, even on a terrible day with mistakes and poor strategy, Hamilton still outperformed Leclerc. That says a lot. Leclerc is supposed to be Ferrari's future, the next big hope. But if the veteran, in a new team and with everything going against him, is still delivering more, what does that say about where Ferrari's priorities really should be? It would be easy to brush all this off by saying, everyone has bad days, even the greats. And sure, that might be true in some cases, but what happened at Silverstone wasn't just a bad day. The backlash from the Italian media proves it's something much deeper. This isn't about one mistake, one pit stop, or one missed opportunity. It's about a pattern. A breakdown in trust between a world-class driver and a team that refuses to listen. Hamilton has been warning Ferrari for months that the car is too extreme, too difficult to control, especially when conditions start to change. And at Silverstone, that exact scenario unfolded. He saw it coming. He gave them the warning. They ignored him. And in doing so, they didn't just throw away a better result, they exposed a deeper problem. A team in denial, stuck in its old ways, paying the price for not listening to the one man who's been right all along. Now, everything comes down to Hungary. The Hungarian Grand Prix isn't just another race, it's Ferrari's breaking point. Inside sources are calling it a make-or-break weekend for the team's relationship with Lewis Hamilton. After everything that's happened, this might be Ferrari's final chance to prove they're willing to back their driver, listen to his feedback, and finally give him a car he can fight with. Because if they don't, the consequences could be massive. Hamilton's legacy is on the line. At 40 years old, he doesn't have time to wait around while Ferrari tries to figure things out. He came to Maranello to win, not to watch history slip through his fingers. And if Ferrari can't or won't give him what he needs, then maybe it's time for him to start thinking about other options. Because legends don't settle, and Hamilton's running out of time to make that 8th title a reality. So now, we're all staring down the barrel of some brutal questions. Questions nobody at Ferrari wants to say out loud, but ones the entire Formula One world is thinking about. First, will Ferrari finally admit they've been wrong all along? Or will their refusal to adapt end up pushing away the greatest driver of his generation? The Tifosi and the media have already made their stance clear. Listen to Hamilton, or keep losing. Second, what happens in Hungary? Will this be the moment Ferrari finally trusts Hamilton's vision? Or will it just be another chapter in a season full of frustration and missed chances? And what about Leclerc? With every race, the gap between him and Hamilton grows more uncomfortable. Can Charles survive the rising pressure? Or are we about to see the media and fans start questioning who the real number one driver is at Ferrari? Lastly, and this is the one that could shake everything, what does Hamilton do if nothing changes? Does he stay and keep fighting a losing battle? Or could we be watching the early signs of a shocking decision, one that could end his Ferrari journey far earlier than anyone expected? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. Hungary could change everything. The pressure is now at boiling point. The Tifosi have spoken louder than ever before, and the Italian media has drawn a clear line in the sand. Ferrari can't hide behind tradition or excuses anymore. They either fix this mess now, or risk losing everything they claim to stand for, including Lewis Hamilton. And if that happens, it won't be a failure on Hamilton's part. It'll be a complete collapse of Ferrari's own making. This is no longer just about lap times or podiums. It's about legacy, redemption, or downfall. And right now, all eyes are on Maranello. Watch this space. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you standing with Hamilton? Or do you think Ferrari's management deserves the heat they're getting? Should Lewis adapt to the team, or should he finally demand a team that adapts to him? Hit that like button if you believe Ferrari needs a total reset from top to bottom. And don't forget to subscribe if you want the kind of raw, inside truth the F1 world usually keeps quiet. Because after Hungary, everything could change. And trust me, you'll want to be here when it does.